Now we're talking, boys.
Caitlin Clark. I didn't know a lot about her. Like, I knew who she was, obviously, but just this past year,
she is the only reason I watch basketball.
Oh no,
women's
basketball.
Truly.
Women's basketball.
No, basketball.
Truly.
I never watched
Facts.
the NBA before.
Really?
I swear.
I actually tune into Caitlin Clark now. It's so dope. I mean, the Indiana Fever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and then I remember Iowa.
No one knew what the Indiana Fever was a year ago. No, and it doesn't matter. I understand there's some OGs out there that are upset.
WNBA sensation Caitlin Clark is making a bold statement. She won't let the NBA use her for publicity. That's why she's turning down the chance to compete in the NBA All-Star Weekend's three-point challenge. Why is Caitlin Clark refusing to participate in the NBA All-Star Weekend's three-point challenge? And how does Caitlin Clark feel about the NBA potentially using her for publicity? Before we dive in, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this WNBA content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel.
When we talk about Caitlin Clark, the first time the NCAA game was on ABC was last year. So in order to give something a chance to succeed, don't bury it in NFL Sundays. Give it a chance.
Frequent debates center around things like her impact on the WNBA and whether or not she deserved to be selected to the Team USA roster for the Paris Olympics. However, other pundits have taken the opportunity to insert themselves into the conversation and create narratives about race and other larger issues that have little to do with Clark herself.
Whenever you think of Angel Reese, people often mention Caitlin Clark. You've said in interviews, there's no beef, but the media keeps going on. So how do you feel about that situation?
Caitlin is an amazing player, and I've always thought she was an amazing player. We've been playing each other since high school. So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are they ride for her. And I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very different.
One of such pundits is the NBA three-point challenge. The Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark has announced that she will not participate in the NBA vs WNBA three-point challenge next month, the All-Star Game festivities, opting to make her three-point contest debut at the WNBA's All-Star Game. In July, her representative at EXL Sports Management revealed that Caitlin will not be at NBA All-Star because she wants her first three-point contest to be at WNBA All-Star, and Clark's decision adds an interesting twist, especially considering last year's buzzworthy showdown between Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu. Her participation would have come on the heels of a successful competition last year between Golden State Warriors star Steph Curry and New York Liberty star Sabrina Ionescu. Curry edged Ionescu 29-26 in the single-round shooting challenge that easily upstaged the NBA's regular three-point contest. The event was held at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, but Ionescu has not publicly confirmed whether she will participate in any of the NBA All-Star Weekend festivities this year. She's currently playing in Rival, the new professional women's basketball 3x3 league that launched early last month. However, the Liberty star acknowledged during a recent Unrivaled media availability that she will miss some games because of additional obligations. She did not play in Phantom's games last week while in Paris for the NBA Paris games, and that she will be in the Bay Area for NBA All-Star Weekend. The WNBA's All-Star Weekend will take place in Indianapolis at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, home of the Fever, and the NBA's Indiana Pacers on July 18th and 19th.
Just back up and shoot it from further back, too.
There you go. Okay, how far can you go? Steph Curry range is no problem for you.
Yeah, no problem.
That's it. You're the best.
With a few months away from the event, there's a lot of discussion surrounding Caitlin Clark and her performance on the basketball court. But the WNBA's #1 overall draft pick has also been at the center of debates that aren't related to the sport, and it's disappointing to her. Clark has monumentally boosted interest in women's basketball, but as a white basketball player, her name and fame have been used to incite culture wars, most notably on social media. There's also been heated debates about her play and why she didn't make the USA basketball Olympic roster despite staying out of the social media chaos. Clark finds herself at the center of heated debates, and she's finally addressing the controversy head-on. Clark was asked about how she's been thrust into these debates despite keeping a low profile on social media. The Times Athletic of the Year says people should stop using her name to push hateful agendas. The Fever star added that it's something she can't control, and she doesn't see people weaponizing her name for argument.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. You go, girl.
A lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle.
Oh.
She dictates. She and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. The economic impact, $36 million. She drove to Indianapolis just by showing up. She moves because she knows people follow her no matter where she goes, and she's very strategic about dictating where her value is.
I do agree with her.
Okay.
I am just disappointed in some of the points she negated to bring up. That three-point contest between Ionescu and Steph Curry, the event was the most watched NBA All-Star Saturday night in 4 years. In 4 years. She's putting the WNBA first.
Boy, it's a different tune. Stephen A was first on the scene with this one, though. I got to give him props for that. Of the acceptance of the Caitlin Clark effect. But boy, we got receipts. And boy, it's funny to see how many people were stubborn to this. And look, if you got another reason other than her color, give it to me. But how in the hell didn't people see this coming? People saw this not only coming, saw it happening, and still were like, nah. And now since we have the power to look back retroactively, right? The 2020 hindsight, everyone could see the receipts of, whoa, Caitlin Clark was it. That was it. You got termed a sellout if you didn't say Angel Reese in the same name. I still hear people qualifying when they talk about the league. They'll throw Angel Reese in there. Ooh, that thing too loud. What's up, baby? What up? You all good? All right. She ain't worked out in how long? Let me stop. Oh, man. The fan. Don't throw me off.
When pressed further about the deeper issues behind these debates, Clark made it clear where she stands on respect and fairness. In the league, her response to people using her name for racist and misogynistic arguments. And she said every player in the league deserves the same respect as Clark stays focused on her game. She's also making strategic decisions, including turning down a major WNBA All-Star opportunity, a move that sparked plenty of debate as Clark and the Fever continue their training in. Their camp, Caitlin Clark reveals why she rejected an offer to compete in the WNBA All-Star three-point contest. Clark, who has emerged as the biggest star in women's basketball over the past year, was offered to participate in the competition on Friday night, only to decline the invitation ahead of Saturday's All-Star game. The Indiana Fever rookie drew criticism after snubbing the three-point contest with ESPN. Analyst David Dennis Jr. fuming that she had no excuse to do so, yet in a conversation with reporters ahead of the skills challenge, Clark admitted she needs to prioritize her own health and well-being after a hectic year in the sport. Caitlin Clark has revealed she turned down the chance to compete in the three-point contest on WNBA All-Star Weekend because she needs rest, because it's not an easy thing to just show up to and shoot off a rack. It's not something I've ever done before. It's not something that she's had a lot of time to practice. She confidently stated that plenty of opportunities would come her way to make it happen. Over 98% of you watch the videos. Without subscribing, it costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video.
You mentioned that, you want to hold the plate on basketball, and definitely respect that. But when, just asking directly, when people use your name for racism, misogyny, whatever, what is your response to that?
Yeah, I think it's disappointing. I think, everybody in our world, deserves the same amount of respect. The women in our league deserve the same amount of respect. So people should not be using my name to push those agendas. It's disappointing. It's not acceptable. But yeah, I mean, this league is the league I grew up admiring and wanting to be a part of. Like, some of the women in this league were my biggest idols and role models growing up and helped me want to achieve this moment right here that I get to play in every single night. So just treating every single woman in this league with the same amount of respect, I think is just a basic human thing that everybody should do. Like, just be a kind person and treat them, how you would want to be treated. And I think it's, very simple.
What was it like for that fundraiser? Like, what was it like to be helping out the community? Also, see you didn't go too easy on that kid with the block.
I didn't go too easy. Come on. He wanted to play me one-on-one. He said he could beat me, so I threw the ball pretty far away. But It's fun when you get to get out in the community. I think it puts basketball into perspective. Like, those little kids had never been to a Fever game, and they were just begging to come to a Fever game. Like, I think it just shows your impact that you have in this community, but also the amazing opportunities that I've been able to have because of basketball. And I don't think people always realize, like, those interactions certainly.
Clark has enjoyed a whirlwind year after reaching the March Madness championship game with Iowa, and then being selected by Indiana with the first overall pick at the WNBA draft. The 22-year-old has made a strong start to life in the big leagues, setting a host of records, while leading the WNBA in assists per game 2. As well as Clark, the New York Liberty's Sabrina Ionescu also rejected an offer to compete in the three-point contest on Friday night, albeit without giving a reason. Instead, the challenge will include New York's Jonquil Jones, Atlanta's Alicia Gray, Connecticut's Marina, Mae Washington's Stephanie Dolson, and Minnesota's Kayla McBride. The field of shooters we have in the competition are really good. They're all like near 40% shooters. Clark continued, so I'm excited for them. I'll be there supporting them, and it'll be fun. Sabrina Ionescu also turned down the chance to take part in the three-point contest. Clark and Ionescu's absences will be notable at Friday's competition in Phoenix, as both rank among the league's most prolific three-point shooters, while Clark has only 7% accuracy from three-point range. She's hit 71 shots from deep this season, which is good enough for third in the league. Ionescu, meanwhile, is in second with 74 three-pointers on the season and ranks 24th in accuracy at 35.6%. Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark is just a few months into her second season in WNBA, but she's already become a lightning rod for hot takes, some of which have nothing to do with basketball. Through it all, Clark is leading the Fever with averages of 16, 3.6 assists, and 1.5 steals per game. She added that she doesn't feel like the added noise has affected her bond with her team. If you like today's video, be sure to check out some of our other videos currently on the screen.
So, here's Aaliyah Boston stealing the ball and finding Caitlin Clark on the break. But as soon as she's about to build up a head of steam, Diamond the Shields just bulldozed her out of nowhere and even laughed it off afterward as if she had done nothing. Meanwhile, Caitlin seems already used to this kind of treatment as she just stands up and walks away. However, it didn't stop her from blurting out sweet nothings on the Shields. Cause you see, that was actually the third time she fouled her hard in just 38 seconds, much to the approval and support of the biggest Caitlin Clark hater of all time. I mean, this was not just a random act of violence directed at CC, because based on this interesting stat right here, 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls this season have been committed against Caitlin, and weirdly enough, 80% of those came from Angel Reese and her Chi-Town crew. This was the last matchup between the Sky and the Fever this season, and it's pretty clear that the close pals of Angel Reese are trying their best to take out Caitlin so she would not have any chance to win the Rookie of the Year award. And see, not only players like the Shields are looking to put Caitlin out of the race, because recently ESPN released their latest rookie rankings, and in that article they put Angel Reese at the #1 spot over Caitlin, even though everybody knows that CC has better stats overall than Reese this season, and the Fever has a better win-loss record than the Sky. I mean, heading to this highly anticipated clash, the Rookie of the Year race was somehow considered to be pretty much a toss-up between Caitlin and Angel Reese, which is why there's no doubt in anyone's mind that whoever comes up on top in this particular game would surely take home the Rookie of the Year trophy. Anyway, with that being said, let's quickly jump right into the action. Caitlin starts things off by showcasing her vision as she locates Nalissa Smith for the uncontested bucket underneath.
On her shoulder speed, more aggressive.
Then, she hops in for a three, coming off a brush screen from AB,
Clark for free.
before blowing by her defender here to finish all the way to the hole. CC was on the roll early, and moments later, she wowed the crowd with back-to-back mind-blowing dimes. First, she sets up Kelsey Mitchell for their patented backdoor play, and after stealing the ball from Angel Reese, CC threads the needle here with this bounce pass to Temi on the run, who then converted the and one.
It's a pass. Thread the needle by. Put this one.
Caitlin played the entire first quarter and finished with 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists, while Angel Reese, on the other hand, was hitting the side of the backboard to end up with 2 points. Anyway, in the second frame, Caitlin starts to heat up early as she hits back-to-back triples to put the Fever ahead.
First quarter, Clark again. Heating up.
Then, after that, she throws a touchdown pass to Erica Wheeler before feeding Damaris Dantas for the foul line